So to get this project started, we're going to start with the two bra cups. Okay, so to do that, we're going to start with a slip knot so we can do our foundation chain. And to do a slip knot, I'm going to do it like this. This is how I do my slip knot. Okay, slide it off my thumb, put my crochet hook there, yarn over, go through, let go, pull. Okay, that's how I do my slip knot. And now that I have my slip knot, I'm going to do a chain of 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that we have our chain of 11, I'm going to turn my work this way, and not in this first chain here, but the second one, I'm going to do a half double crochet in the back loop of that second stitch or second chain, just like this. So that's my half double crochet, and then I'm going to do this for the next 9 chains as well. And again, like I said, you're working in the back of the chain, so this is the bumps that you're working into in the back of your chain, so just like that. Okay, so go ahead and do this. When you get to the very last one here at the end of this, come back and we'll move on to the next side of this project. Okay, so that is the end of this side here. Okay, now I have done my half double crochet hook in the very my half double crochet stitch in the very last stitch here. Okay, so as you see, this is how it should look, and you should have 10 stitches on this side. Okay, now we're going to work on this side next. Okay, so this is all still part of row 1. Now that I have already done one half double crochet into that last stitch, I'm going to add one more into the same stitch like that, and then I'm going to do chain 1, and then I'm going to do 2 more half double crochets in that same stitch. So at the end of it, you're gonna end up with 4 half double crochet in the same stitch, separated, the 2 separated by a chain 1 in between. So there you go. We're trying to create like a corner. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to move on to the next stitch, and we're going to do our half double crochet right in the next stitch like that, and then we're going to move on to the next stitch. Now this is where it comes in handy to not make your foundation chain too tight, because if you do, it's going to make it hard to go into this side of the chain and work down the chain. Okay, so if you made it a little bit nice and loose, it's gonna be easy. And if you find it too difficult, you can always just quickly jump into a smaller crochet hook, so maybe a 4 or even 4.5. Just do this part and then switch back to the 5. So that's up to you, but usually just try to avoid doing that by making sure my foundation chain is not too tight. Okay, so I'm just about to get to the end here, and you should have 10 stitches on this side as well. Okay, so as you can see, that's how it looks like. Then when you're done that, you're going to chain 1, turn your work so we can work around again, and then when you do a chain 1, you do your half double crochet in the very first stitch after your chain 1 like that, and then you're going to move on to the next and to the next, and then you're going to do this until you get to the pointy part over here. So go ahead and do that. When you get to the pointy part, I will meet you there and we will do the top together before we work on the opposite side. Okay, so I just did my last stitch here. Now I'm gonna go on top. If you remember, we did 2 half double crochets into the same space, chain 1, and then 2 more half double crochets in the same space. So now I'm here. Okay, I have done my last half double crochet here. I'm going to do my other one right here next to it, And then now I have the middle to work into. So in this middle part here, I'm going to put 2 half double crochets like that, and then chain 1, and then I'm going to do 2 more half double crochets in the same space. Okay, all right, so that's where it is now. So if you put it down, you can see this side is going to be more pointy and this side is going to be more flat like this, and this side is going to build up like this. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next stitch, and we're going to do our half double crochet in the next stitch just like usual, and then move on to the next stitch and do a half double crochet, and then in the next, and then so on and so forth. Okay, now I'm at the end here. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and then continue to repeat this for 7 rows. So we have 2 rows already, you need to do 5 more. And if you're doing a different size of breast, then you need to do more if you want it to be larger to fully cover your breast, then you need to do more rows. Okay guys, so this is my 7 rows here of my bra cup. Okay, so as you can see, it's quite small because I'm making it for me, which is an A cup. Okay, so if you were making it for yourself and it's a bigger size, then these rows here that we started with would have been a lot larger or longer, and then the rows that you're doing up like this will also be more, because you get more coverage the bigger the breast is. Okay, all right, so we're going to go ahead and do our chain 3. Okay, and then we're going to flip our work this way, and we're going to skip this first stitch here, and in the next stitch we're going to do a double crochet, and then chain 1, skip this stitch here, in the next stitch do a double crochet. Okay, and you're going to continue to do this pattern until you get to about 4 stitches to go. So when you have 1 2 3 4, actually 5 stitches to go, stop there, because I will show you guys how to do something differently there. Okay, so that's how the side of your bra cup should look like. Okay, now I have 5 stitches to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a chain 1, and then I'm going to do a single crochet here. I'm going to do a single crochet here. Okay, and then in the next one I'm going to do a single crochet. In the next one I'm going to do a single crochet, and then now we're on top of it right here. We're going to do our 2 half double crochet in the middle. Okay, chain 1, 2 more half double crochets. Okay, and that makes the top look like that. Okay, and then if you remember, in the next stitch here we're going to do a single crochet. In the next stitch we're going to do a single crochet. Okay, in the next stitch we're going to do a single crochet and chain 1. Okay, and then we're going to skip 1, do a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, do a double crochet. Okay, so this is how the top should look like. It has a knob on the top like that, and then it gets lower and then goes back out like that. So you're going to then do this to the end here. So you continue to repeat this pattern we just did here all the way to the end here. And when you get to the end here, come back to the video and we will move on to the next step. Okay guys, so I have just 2 more stitches to go here. So I'm going to chain 1, skip this stitch, and in the last one here I will do my double crochet stitch. Okay, so that is the end of this here. Okay, so as you can see, and you just kind of need to work with your top a little bit. Make sure you're stretching the yarn into place. Okay, so that is pretty much how one of your cups should look like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 1. Okay, and I'm going to do a half double crochet here, and then I'm going to do half double crochet in every space that I can find, going across the bottom of the top. Okay guys, so I have pretty much gone to the end. So as you can see here, my last stitch, let me just undo the last stitch and show it to you here. So the last stitch is going to go right where this chain is, just right in the hole here. Okay, so we're just going to do the last stitch there like that. Okay, so again, like I said, it does make your work look a lot neater. So as you can see, we don't have those uneven bottom side there. It looks very nice and even like that. And so when we do our bottom part of the top, it's easy to connect it to this. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So that is the first cup done. You go ahead and duplicate these and get the second cup exactly the same. Okay, when you have your 2 cups, come back to the video and we'll move on to making the panel for the bottom part of our top. Okay, so I'll see you guys when you have finished your second cup. Okay guys, so I have completed my second bra cup here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this right here and leave this long here, and I did this with the other one as well. I'm just gonna close these off here like this. Okay, so that's done, and as you can see, this is my second one as well with a long string hanging. Now that I have these 2 bra cups ready, I'm gonna just put them away so we can go ahead and get started with our body of the top. Okay, so I'm going to start it off with a slip knot, and this is how I do my slip knot here, just like that. And then I'm going to do my chain 71. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so to go ahead and start our first row of this, we're going to skip this very first chain here right after the hook, and in the second one, which is this one right here, we're going to go to the back of it and do our half double crochet. So we're going to keep the stitches consistent to what we did for the bra cups, okay, because it's part of the same top. Okay, and then you're going to go to the next stitch and do your half double crochet, and go into the next and do your half double crochet, and you're going to do this until you get to the end of the row. Okay guys, I have completed my first row of the half double crochet here right onto the foundation chain. So as you can see, that is how it looks. Okay, and now to go ahead and start our second row, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then go right into the first stitch after the chain 1 and do your half double crochet. Okay, and make sure you're going through both loops of this stitch here. So we're not going in the back only, and we're not going in the front only, we're going right in the between both, which is called the regular half double crochet. Okay, so you're going to do this until you get to the end, and when you go all the way to the end here for your second, make sure you're doing your final stitch right here, which is the last stitch. Don't let this go, because sometimes people do this and then they assume this is not a stitch. There's a stitch here at the end, so make sure you do your last half double crochet here as well. Chain 1, turn your work, and then repeat that until you have 4 rows. When you have 4 rows total, come back to the video and I will go ahead and show you guys how to move on to the next step. Okay, all right guys, so I have my 4 rows completed here for the bottom of the top, and we're going to go ahead and start the next step. And after your 4 rows, we're going to do a chain of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to turn our work this way. Okay, and we're going to skip this first row here, or the first stitch right after the chain 3. We're going to skip it. In this next one here, we're going to do a double crochet like that. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip this chain, this stitch. In the next stitch, we're going to do a double crochet stitch, chain 1, skip this stitch. In the next stitch, we do a double crochet. Okay, so we're going to do this, and that's how it should look like, but we're going to do this until we get to the end here. Okay, all right, so we have reached the end of this row. So as you can see, that is how it should look like. Okay, all right, now to go on and start our second row of this, we're going to chain 3 again, turn it, and then what we're going to do is on top of these previous double crochet here, we're going to do a double crochet on top of that, chain 1, and then on top of the last double crochet we do a double crochet, chain 1, on top of the last double crochet we do a double crochet, and this is how it should look like. Okay, so again you're going to continue this until you get to the end. When you get to this end here and you have done your last double crochet right there, come back and I'll show you guys how to move on to the next step. Okay, so we have completed the second row of this lacy part of the top here. So as you can see, that's how it should look like. Okay, all right, so to move on to the next row, we're going to do a chain 1, turn our work, and in this gap here between the 2 double crochets we're going to do a half double crochet. Okay, and then a half double crochet on top of that double crochet from the previous row, and then a double crochet in the big gap, or a half double crochet, my bad, a half double crochet in the big gap, a half double crochet on top of the previous double crochet, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you're going to continue to do this until you get to the end of the row. And what we're doing now is we're going to repeat this part. So this is our first row of the half double crochet stitch. When you do that, you will do your last one right on top of here. So you'll have one here. Here, let me just show you clearly. So you will do one half double crochet on top of this double crochet from the previous row, one in between the gap, and then a final one right there. Okay, then when you have completed that, you chain 1, turn your work, and then start the next row of the double crochets, half double crochet stitches, and you're going to do that until you have 4 rows of it. When you finish your 4 rows, you're going to repeat this part here. So when you have your 4 rows and you're starting these rows, you're going to chain 3 and then skip a stitch. In the next stitch do a double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, in the next stitch do a double crochet, and so on and so forth, and you will do 2 rows of that, and then again do another row of the do another 4 rows of the half double crochet stitch. So at the end you're going to have one of this, one of this, one of this repeated, one of this repeated, and then finally finish it with a final row of this. Okay, so go ahead and do that. When you get to the end of so there should be 3 blocks of this and 2 blocks of this. Okay, so there should be 5 blocks total. When you do that, come back and I'll show you guys how to move on to the next part of it. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so I have completed my part here. Okay, so this is the 5 blocks that I talked about. So this block, and then that, and then this block, and then that, and then the final block is that. So this is how it looks like so far. So this is the part that will go as part of the bottom of my top. So if we just put it right here and we bring our bra cups in, so one of my bra cups will go here, the other one will go right there, and then this should be part of my back. So as you see, the top will go like this. But what I'm going to do, because like I said, I left this gap a little bit larger here, I'm going to increase my rows this way, and I'm going to increase my rows this way. That way I have that much of a part of the middle of the top. Okay, so let's put these guys away again. We don't need them yet. So after my 4th row here, I'm going to work on this side to increase my top, the back of the top. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 1, and right here I'm going to do a half double crochet, just like that, and then I'm going to move on and do another half double crochet. So if you remember what we did in the bottom of our bra cup, we're doing the same thing here. There's no definite spaces to do it, so you're just going to find spaces to go along. When you get to this section, which is a big gap here, you can do 2 half double crochet stitches in that gap, and then go on top here, do half double crochet stitches in on here, and do another one here, and then continue and do the same here. Okay, and then what we will do when we get to the end is we're going to do a chain 1 and then pretty much repeat these again until you get the number of rows that you want to have your bag fit properly in the bag. Alright guys, so I have completed the sides of the top here. So as you can see, this is where I finished it off here, and I've already cut off the yarn. I did 8 rows of the half double crochet on this side, and then I did 8 rows of the half double crochet on this side as well. So as you can see, this is pretty much how the top looks, or at least the bottom of it. We already did our cups, our bra cups, so this is how the rest of it looks like. Okay, so let's bring in the cups so you can see how it's going to go. So we're pretty much going to place 1 cup on each side of it like this. I'm just gonna open this first, and of course you're gonna measure and make sure you have it right in the middle so that it's not wonky, or it's not like, you know, kind of crooked when you put it together. So usually you make sure this side here touches this side, or you could make it a little bit gappy too if you want a little bit of a cleavage here in the middle. That's your choice. But so this is pretty much how you would kind of line it up, and then we're going to pretty much connect these here using this yarn. We sew it across like this until this side gets here, this side gets here, right? So something like that, and then we do the same on this side. And then, so in other words, when you fold it like this, this is how your top would look like. Let me move it up a little. So this is pretty much how your top would look like, right? So you're going to sew it like this, and then we're going to do a strap that will go down here, and then we're going to do straps that will go around your neck right on top of each of the cups here. Okay, so let's get right into that. Let's do the tops first, and then we're going to go ahead, or let's put the straps on top here first, and then we'll go ahead and create an extra strap to be able to tie our top in the back. And when we have those pieces down, then we will go ahead and sew the top shut like this. So I will not show you how to sew the top shut because it's something I will do off camera, but literally all you have to do is, I got some stitch markers here. So what you will do is, if you want, you can count the stitches from here to here, from this side here to this side. Make sure you have equal stitch numbers, and then you sew it together like that. So I will do that off camera. I have my darning needle ready, and all you will do is you will fold it like this, okay, and then you will sew these together. What I usually do is I take the front of this side, so there's these V sections here of your stitches. I take this front one, the one closest to me, and then I grab the one furthest from me on the other side of it. Then I'll usually sew it like this, and then I grab this and I go onto the outside and I sew that. So that way it looks seamless here, so that there's no bumps or anything that is looking too obvious that you connected it there. Now also make sure you're paying attention to the string that is hanging from when we started our foundation chain. Make sure those are on the same side. Okay, so in this case, if I sew mine like that, okay, this top is going to be worn the exact opposite way. So this side is gonna be where my boobies go, my breast. This side is where my boobies will go, which means the top will fold that way. Okay, and if I want this side to be where the top folds, then I just flip these guys like this, and I sew it there and there, there and there, and then this is where my top is gonna go on me like this. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you guys how to do the strap on one, and then you will do the strap on the second one on your own, and then that's how we're gonna do it. All right, so to go ahead and start our strap here, you can work with either side, so you don't have to be You don't have to be too strict with that, but just to be safe, I'm gonna work on this side. And you remember that gap in between where we did our chain one and then two half double crochets on this side. We're going to use that space and we're going to do a slip knot there, like that. Okay, and now that we have a slip knot, we're going to do a number of chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay guys, so I did 60 chains on this side and I think that's enough. I did it so that if I need it, that way there's extra space. I don't want it to be too tight, so there should be enough space on this side. Okay, then I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut this guy just right, let's say right be like somewhere here. I don't like to waste yarn, so I'm very stingy with how I strategize my my yarn. Okay, and then we're going to pull this through. So I'm going to just make that gap a little bit bigger for that knot to come through, like that, and then pull it. Okay, so this is done on this side. I'm gonna cut this knot off here, and that's garbage. So go ahead and do your second one and put the strap on top of your bra cup for the second one, and then come back, and when you come back you should have that done, and we'll go ahead and connect our pieces together. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so as you can see here, these are my straps for the bra cups completed. Okay, so that's how they look like, exactly the same length. Okay, so I'm going to put these away so I can show you guys how to do the strap for the back. Now the strap for the back is just going to be a long chain that we do on its own. I'm probably going to do about 100 to 120 chains. You can do the number of chains that you want, but it needs to be long enough that when we connect the back with it, you also have a tiny bit of it hanging. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to start it off here, and then from there you do your own number of chains based on how long you want your strap to be. Okay, so again, we do a slip knot to start that off, and then we do our chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right guys, so I have completed my back strap here for the back of the top, and actually ended up doing 140 chains. So as you can see, it's quite long. I always like to do extra because you don't want to do a short strap and then you struggle to tie your top in the back, or you don't want to do you know, a short strap because it just doesn't fit and then you have to start over. So that is pretty much how long mine is, about 140 chains long. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut the yarn somewhere here. There you go. And then I'm going to fasten these up here. Let me just do another chain and pull it through. There you go. So this is my strap. So we're going to go ahead and put my strap on the side. Okay, so that's ready to be used. And then now when we bring our top back in here, okay, so you're going to now position your top however you want it to be positioned. So your bra cups on. Okay, put your back, or come back so we can put the back strap together. Okay, so I'd like you guys to go ahead and just join your tops, and then when you're done, come back, and then I will show you guys how to do the strap here. Yeah, so see you guys when you're back. Alright guys, so I have connected my bra cups to the top here. So as you can see, that's pretty much how it looks like. Okay, now I have my top straps here. That part is done, and then this is the back of the top here. So if we fold it in, this is the back of it here. We have our strap that we can pretty much work however we want to work it. Now we bring this in like this. If you want, you can either start it up here and go down, or you can start it up and go you can start it down and go up, or from up to down. So it's up to you how you would like to have your strap. But what I will do is I will pretty much bring this through from this side, and just anywhere on top of that is okay. We don't have definite spaces for them to go, but it's loose enough that you can do something like that. So we're going to do the same thing on this side here. Okay, so there you go. and just line it up so that it matches on each side. You have enough in terms of the length on each side. And then what you can do is you can either crisscross it like this, which I like to do with my tops. Alright guys, so I just put my strap on here, so as you can see it looks extremely beautiful. So there you go. So you pretty much kind of work your strap in like that, and then this is the cup side here. So now with these tops you can wear it either way, to be honest. So you can either wear them like this, or you can literally do it the opposite way. This can be worn on this side too as the inside. You just have to remove the strap and flip it like this. So that is pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed doing this top with me. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, this is your best opportunity to do so. Make sure you like the video, make sure you hit the notification bell so you're reminded when I post new videos, and of course comment and ask any questions you have, or just say hi between tapings, and I will see you guys in my next video. Ciao ciao.